Type 3D printing into Google and you get 244 million results. The emerging technology is helping Minnesota companies quickly build custom prosthetics. It could also be used to build cars, even guns. Well, I visited the University of Minnesota, where students are now learning how to use the devices in what is quickly becoming the future of manufacturing.
We'll go ahead and place your feet.
Sherry Sand and Will is about to be 3D scanned.
I'm not nervous at all.
U of M graduate research assistant Chad Sowers gets his colleagues set up on this pedestal, closes the curtain, sits down at his computer.
We're ready to go.
And after an 18-second laser scan, he has a 3D image of Sherry. 5 hours later, there's a tiny replica of her made in one of the campus's handful of 3D printers.
Which is printed by a hot filament being pushed through a nozzle and built basically in very thin threads from the bottom up.
U of M students in several different disciplines are learning to use 3D printing. In the apparel design program, it could mean custom-built clothes built based on your exact body model.
With the scanning technology, we could scan this form, and then we can virtually drape or put the cloth on that body and, test out things in minutes.
The director of the Human Dimensioning Lab, Dr. Karen LeBlatt, says they've also been helping NASA design spacesuits.
So what we were looking at is how well you can get this to fit.
They're also working on clothing that's a better fit for osteoporosis sufferers.
So how do we solve that problem? By scanning, observing the body.
Breast cancer patients and amputees have also benefited from this technology.
Step up on the platform.
They also scanned me. We'll show you the final printed mini version in a few days. It didn't hurt. And yes, custom toys like TV reporter action figures are also possible using 3D printing. Okay, so it takes 5 hours for them to be able to make one of these 3D models, and here's the finished product, a tiny little blue prototype based on my body scan that they printed this out on this 3D printer. Now, the idea behind this for the University of Minnesota students is so they can take a design from the computer screen and then with ours have a working model to be able to touch and feel. For architecture students, that means they could have a prototype of a building that they can experiment with construction, and for students in the toy design class, they could come up with something like a car, perhaps, that they want to make, and something that would typically take them months or maybe never even happen, then they could make themselves and print out a little car like this.
5 hours, that's really pretty fast in the scheme of things.
Now, the hitch in all this is there's a lot of people who are wondering about manufacturing parts around the house or having one of these printers for themselves. They say that that's still a ways off yet because there's a lot of question about who owns the rights to the plans for those sorts of things. So there you go. This will be coming home for the kids here, by the way, in a little bit.
You're not copyrighted, so we can just make a lot of
and
little
who
crystals.
really wouldn't want one of those? I don't think I could get my kids to take it.
I bet they will, but you may not like what they do with it.
That's true.
Well, coming up.